Tonight, the Indiana Fever played the Washington Mystics. Let's go over what happened. This is Barbara around the WNBA. It was an excellent, excellent game. I don't know if you watched it, but if you didn't, go back and see it. It was a good game. Let me tell you, when I first saw the lineup, I was like, where's Aari? What happened to her? I thought she was going to start. Hey, but guess what? They had a good start. Look at here. The first quarter, Washington 18, Indiana 19. Second quarter, Washington 16, Indiana 19. So Indiana was keeping it at an even keel. They were being consistent on offense and defense. Quarter number 3, check it out. Indiana Fever just went buck wild. 31-21, Indiana. Quarter number 4, 21-16. Washington had that as far as the points. But guess what? The Indiana Fever had taken so much care with the ball in the first 2 quarters and then really just sprang ahead in the third quarter that the lack of scoring in the fourth didn't have to happen. They had already made their points. But they didn't give up. They still tried. They didn't give up. And it ended up being 85-76, a 9-point lead, which is really, really good. Let me go over a few things with you. Colson hit the first 2 points. That was a good start. That told the other team that the Indiana Fever were about business. The point guard made the first 2 points. And what Indiana had to do to really break through and win tonight is what they did. They guarded the ball. I didn't see nervousness. I saw some hesitation here and there, but I didn't see nervousness. I saw them watching the ball and keeping their eye on the ball. Why do you do that? You keep your eye on the ball, you know where the ball is, and then you know where you want to be, right where the ball is going, right? They needed to disrupt the defense of the other team. And they did a good job at that because they could not penetrate, they could not get away with just doing whatever they wanted to do. All right? Indiana was good on defense. I mean, it's got to be better. I'm not saying it was perfect. It's got to be better, but they were spot on. And some of that, if not half of that, maybe a pretty good portion of that, is about Aari McDonald. She gets on the court and she's all business. All business. Getting to the offense. Getting to the defense. Stealing balls. Okay? Making buckets. I think we need to keep Aari. What do y'all think? Should we keep Aari? I think so. Check it out. So the Indiana Fever did a good job with disrupting the defense of the other team. That was really good. And then what happens? First quarter, Sydney Colson got a bloody nose. She can't win. First she got injured, her leg, and now she get a bloody nose. Okay. But did she stay out of the game? No. She got back into it later on. All right. Then we had Boston, who had 2 fouls in the first quarter. 2 fouls already in the first quarter. So that's something that she's got to work on. She's got to work on just, keeping herself clear of definitely certain players. Sykes is skilled at getting to the free throw line. I think that she's got like a high, score of like how many free throws she's had so far in the season. I mean, so she will make herself get to the free throw line. She's skilled at doing that. So when Boston is up against someone like her, just do what you can do, but get out of the way. You know, Same thing with Shakira. Shakira is basically good in the paint, and if Boston is in there, they're going to get tangled up because Shakira is going to make sure that they do and draw the foul. So she's got to be careful of that. Careful of that because they want to get her out because right now, Boston is on point. She's not only rebounding and putting up in the paint, which she could do more of. They need to give her the ball more often, okay, in the paint. Because tonight, it took a little while for them to get to the paint. Boston needs to live in the paint, right? But she can dribble up court, down court. She can, she's a multifaceted player, even more so than what she even knows about for herself. I don't think she's aware of what she can do yet. I don't think she's aware, but she is just doing leaps and bounds of where she was last season. Some have said that she's, not necessarily a, Thomas, on a Mercury, but she is someone who could have that multi sort of dexterity, sort of that engine, as Thomas is called, for the Indiana Fever. We shall see, but I think she has that potential. A couple other things. They made Indiana 12 points from the bench. Good stuff. So the bench was working too, right? Bonner in the second got cold, if you noticed that. She got a little cold. She couldn't make a bucket. Her passing was off. Okay? I'm saying if you don't have the strength to pass the ball, especially when you are making, a pass like a football player, like the ones that Caitlin does, or the ones that Kelsey Plums, does, you got to put some force behind that to go from one end of the court to the next. If you can't do that, then don't do that. Please don't do that. Give it to somebody else who has that power to do it. Then it'll get to the player they're supposed to get to. Otherwise, guess what? The other team's going to know what you're doing. The other team's going to say, oh, okay, we know that what she's about. And so we can intercept that. We can steal that ball. So she's got to be careful of that stuff. Then, okay, second quarter, there's go Boston again and get another foul. 3 fouls now. And so basically, she's got to learn not to do that. But let me give you some more things to look at here. Check this out. I'll push up a little bit. Okay, Mitchell, 24 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists. Hull, 14, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. Hull was spot on. She was hustling. She was aggressive. I love to see her play that way. Boston, 10 points, 1 rebound, 4 assists. Bonner, 9 points, 2 and 1. Dantes, 8 points, 4 and 0. Colson, 7 points, 1 and 3. McDonald, Aari McDonald, 7 points, 1 rebound, and 5 assists. This is how the board should look for a team like this, right? Let's go on. Check out the rookies. Irfan, 29. And Sykes, 20.6. Citron, 15, 7 rebounds, 1. Austin, 10, 3, and 1. Wow. This is a big deal. So, Indiana Fever did their job tonight. But Citron was not on her job as usual. Otherwise, she would have got more points. But you know what? It is what it is. I'm glad the Indiana Fever have a win under their belt and more to come.